and died a lot. So I worked on that, and now I don't get caught on the side lane, and I don't just like kill myself as much. Everyone remembers like the time where I just walked into Victor, and I just took a super uncalculated risk and died and threw the game, and like that just burned in my mind, and I don't want to be that player anymore. So okay, like it's a new me. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then Season 7 happened. It's like I'm getting dove a lot. Like the enemy mid jungler are just ganking me, and I'm just dying. I'm useless. Like I feel like a liability to my team, and okay, like how do I fix that? Like how do I stop being that player? So, you know, it's Season 8 now, and like I think every year I try to like reinvent myself. That's how I keep at the top. I keep my game up, and every time I reinvent myself, I just make sure I don't make the same stupid mistakes I did before. So, you know, like people say, oh, how impressive, like it's so impressive that I was deathless in the C9 series. And it's like, for me, that's not impressive because I've been working on it for so long. Like I really, really want to make sure I'm not that same player from before who would just die randomly and throw the game.
New year, new me for Declan.
We keep on, whenever we talk to him, also we bring up the bowl cut though. That also never changes.
That's 2019.
Yeah, he's sticking with that one.
Well, welcome back for Game 2. Where Team Liquid has selected the blue side. I mean, we heard from Doublelift there. I think it's fair to sing his praises after that last game. Popping off on Caitlyn.
Technically popping off. Give us the numbers, Azael.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking pretty incredible. And you also have to remember, there was a level 1 first blood for Altec on Kalista. And Doublelift ends up doing 33,000 damage compared to the 10K from Altec. So definitely really outperforming his counterpart with being at that disadvantage from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the champions and the opening to the game and how it was set up for, you know, a good situation for Echo Fox to try and snowball. Not the case, though. So, adjustments for game number 2. This is a best-of-5 series. They've got multiple chances here. What will Echo Fox try and change?
Well, so far, kind of the same story. Xayah banned by Echo Fox on the red side, Gangplank banned by Team Liquid, and Trundle actually going to join in. Kind of a testament to how strong they think the pick is.
It also kind of tells me they're looking for an Olaf first pick and feeling like, hey, this is one of the big answers to that. But Echo Fox, so far, it's looking all the same. They have the opportunity to change up their third ban, which was Morgana in game number 1. But we have to remember, in this like C9 series, we were expecting them to change up their pick ban, banning 3 tanks first round every single time against TL. It did not work. They maintained that strategy. We'll see if Echo Fox is going to show us something different.
Yeah, I mean, they've at least decided we're not throwing any tank bans out there because, you know, Impact showed that he could go as deep as needed in the champion pool.
Well, Olaf was actually the other ban for Liquid, and I kind of feel like Caitlyn's coming, but Echo Fox clearly discussing a lot here as they run the timer all the way down. It is Morgana again, though, so first pick. Oh, yeah, Swain's up. And there's Swain!
And Impact has played this top lane, so this is definitely a flex. Could go either way. We'll see where they're going to send that, but it is a little concerning for Echo Fox that after that game number 1 going exactly back to the pick ban, but there's obviously a lot of room for improvement as far as execution goes.
And I actually consider Cassiopeia very good into Swain and haven't seen it enough. I feel like people are not counterpicking it enough, so if Team Liquid decided to show early and show that it was a mid-Swain for Pobelter, and Phoenix is a very good Cassiopeia player, I feel like that would be a good answer. But yeah, exactly. The 80 carries are locked in. There are more answers here. Doublelift picking up the Ashe, a classic into Caitlyn, actually.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I do like the takeaway of the Caitlyn here. It has been such a strong pick for Doublelift. Putting him on something different is pretty nice. That being said, as you mentioned, it's so strong already into Caitlyn in lane, especially if they're going to pair it with a range support. You can really have very strong push with things like the Karma plus Ashe lanes can push you in, poke you out, and offer a lot of utility with that ultimate post level 6.
And while we touch on the rest of the picks, Sejuani, the jungler there for Smithy, Rise there for Phoenix, kind of taking that away, maybe thinking again it will be Impact on the Swain. But Dardoch, he's actually playing Skarner. I remember this conversation from the dive. This is his first time playing Skarner this year. And he's been vocally very negative about the champion.
He's been very outspoken that he does not like playing the champion, and he looks down on people who do play the champion for, you know, quote-unquote free rating. But it is a very strong champion in the meta. We know that he can play the champion. It's not like he has an inability to play Skarner. There are a couple little tips and tricks that you can have with a champion. to optimize it, but we'll see how he does fit into the rest of the team. As far as role playing now, it does look like Echo Fox are going to slow it down, though. We are thinking about the interview that we saw, and what were the changes going to be. It will be a bit of a slower game, but also not as scary of a fall off for them. So can Echo Fox, go to toe-to-toe and draw those battle lines?
I also do really like leaving on red side your last pick for Huni. I think, yes, he can be successful on tanks. Yes, he is a great tank player, but you want that 30 CS advantage that he had over Impact to convert it into more, right? And to get that, you generally need to be in carry versus carry, or at least carry versus tank. So we'll see where Huni is going to go with this pick.
And if it is Impact in the top lane with the Swain, I actually thought, although they won those games, there were definitely improvements as far as individual character control for the Swain play from Impact. It looked like something that he invested a ton of time in.
And I'd even say that there's actually a lot of melee picks which can be very aggressive, which are very effective into Swain pre-6. Things like Kled can be very effective into it. I've even seen Yasuo, which we've seen Huni pick a couple times, be pretty effective into this champion. So I'll be very excited.
You're getting my hopes up here, buddy.
I'm getting my own hopes
I'm
up. My
excited.
hopes are getting higher.
It's Huni. This is the guy who would do it.
All right, well, here comes Braum. There's Thresh, and looks like maybe that is going to be Swain in the mid lane. So On is on the way. This doesn't remove the possibility of a carry for Huni in the top lane, by the way.
I mean, we could see something like a Fiora if you want to go extreme as far as counterpicking, trying to split push it out, but I'm not sure if that's Huni's plan or if he wants to stay more in the 1v1. Braum Yasuo is a possibility. We've seen him bring it out a couple times, but Yasuo, in my opinion, is pretty weak into Ornn.
Yeah, into Ornn.
I don't think we're going to see it.
It would definitely be difficult. You're trying to run into a brick wall there.
He's nodding his head.
Okay.
Something else probably.
He was nodding his head to, hey, what about Cho'Gath here? And he's like, okay, yes, sir.
Yep, and that's Cho'Gath for Huni. So a little less exciting than we may have liked, but
But definitely stronger considering the change in battle plan here, right? Cho'Gath is very good on the front line, true damage execution possible, for either of those big tanks if he's fighting. Also, the silence and the knockup, very good as far as having a mechanically gifted player like Huni. We'll see what kind of combos he can actually pull off.
And in the tank versus tank, he is actually one of the stronger tank versus tank type matchups. I am expecting Impact and Pobelter to swap here. They have not done it yet, but definitely still expecting Ornn to be top.
Yeah.
And no crazy shenanigans to come through, but they could surprise us. I've seen, Banner Scions and Banner Nautilus's mid and stuff.
Okay, maybe something, because I was about to say, I believe the rules state you cannot swap after 20 seconds are left on the clock. So maybe something happened. I need to kind of boot it back up. I'm guessing that they wanted on top and not mid, but
Yeah, so they did have trouble swapping. It is going to be a remake, same pick, so we will try to breeze through that as quick as possible. It was intended to be Ornn top, so I was getting a little bit surprised, like, oh, you might be overthinking this. I don't know if you want to play Ornn into Rise.
Yeah, getting a little close to the timer there.
Yeah.
you can only bait the audience so long before you yourself have been baited.
And outsmarted.
Well, it looks like we'll just get back in ASAP, and as expected, it is on top. So we have the compositions now. I'll have to use our memories, unfortunately, but I'll rely on you, gentlemen, to tell me what you think of those two drafts now that we've seen them.
I'm still stuck on, I really think that Cassiopeia mid, since it did end up being the Swain mid, they are going to swap it, is actually just much better into it than Rise is. But so many of the pro players are so focused on the Rise, and they went for that early pick. Cassiopeia, with her poison speed boost, she can dodge Swain's abilities very easily. Swain cannot shove her either. I just think she has so many answers, as well as it being a very high win percentage in solo queue. I'm hoping that we do see more adaptations like that rather than continuing to default down these kind of tier lists and picking up the same champions.
You're also one of the only mid lane champions that actually has enough sustained DPS to kill Swain through his ultimate, right? Which is something that's very big. And even if that was going to be a flex pick, if they pick up a Rise, well, Cassio's pretty good in a Rise too. So I do think that Cassio can be very, very strong in the meta. But obviously, there's some
I'm
things that
disappointed,
Rise
my
does
friend.
better. Rise can roam, I think, better, and move around the map. And the use of the ultimate is something that is very highly prized in pro play. So we'll see if Phoenix is going to be able to get out in those side lanes and find some good plays.
Yeah, the other thing about that mid lane matchup, there is a Sejuani in the jungle. Oftentimes I'll see cleanses being picked up against Sejuani jungle because her ultimate, as soon as Smithy gets level 6, is going to be scary. It's very easy to land from the side of the mid lane there, so maybe Phoenix on the Rise would want to go for something like that. There's also an Ashe in the game, so I feel like cleanses slash, Quicksilver slash, any sort of CC removal is going to be big for the Echo Fox as far as trying to counter that comp.
Definitely agree. Even Thresh, right? Expecting probably, Unsealed Spellbook Braum as well as Rise, because both those guys may want to be swapping over to Cleanse. We've seen more and more Cleanse on supports later stages of the game as they've kind of really started to realize the value.
Well, reminder that we are just having the players go back through picks and bans nice and quick. Looks like we're almost done, so should be popping into the game shortly. But we also have my favorite Season 1 classic anti-Ashe Arrow strategy, Big Cho'Gath. He just takes up the lane. Let him stand there.
The easiest of all Patriots, you just stand behind the large monster.
Exactly.
Did work in the last game. I mean, we had Smithy taking the Kalista ultimate for double lift, stepped up and did his duty. Very well could be the case here, but again, there is so much crowd control on Team Liquid. I don't know if you can cleanse all that stuff. An Ornn ult is going to start this team fight out.
Yeah.
They have Ashe ultimate, Sejuani ultimate, Thresh hooks that you're talking about, and Swain can literally click on anyone in any team fight at any point probably and pull them in with the passive.
Yeah, it is 1 CC apiece minimum for every member of the TL lineup, so I'm expecting another pretty chaotic game, I have to say. I think both teams will slow it down a touch, but this series should be a fun one, given what we saw in that first game.
Definitely true. And there are some answers there for Fox already. Adrian has the Braum, and as we well know, Braum, unbreakable. You can interrupt the Ornn ultimate and try and put a stop to it. So going to have to see the counters in place for Echo Fox game number 2.
Gotta say, I'm liking the Skinergy here. Huni and Dardoch both rocking the Battle Cast.
A lot of Freljord going on.
Yeah, and then you look over on TL side, we got like the Winter Swain, we got the Poro Sejuani, we got kind of the wintry Ornn, and double lift as well on the Ashe, so it's a pretty good Skinergy.
Since you're bringing it up then, which one do you think wins the skin wars, Azael?
Ooh, well, since the Rise went skinless, gotta give it to TL.
Agree.
Phoenix is inting the skin
You're
wars.
gonna hit him with a question mark. Definitely no Skinergy there.
Come on, man.
He's just trying to be like Faker, you
But
know?
look at this duo.
Only
The
Faker can be
Battlecast duo-
like Faker.
The Battlecast duo is pretty tight. So if it's a 2v2 on the top side, Echo Fox has the Skinergy advantage.
Oh, it'll be a 2v2 on the top side, don't you worry.
Look at that.
It's been Huni and Dardoch all season, so they're just kind of keeping to themselves there. They're the cool kids club with the battle cast.
I think Ole did misplay, though. There is a championship to our skin. I believe it is usable in pro play, so not loving it here between these two. But apart from that, their play last game said a lot more than their skins do. So we'll see what happens here as everyone's going to move out to lane. No invade this time for Echo Fox, as it looks like both junglers going to hang out on the left side of the map to kick things off.
I always wonder when people use blast cones like that, just to remove them from their jungle, because they're all small little cases where it can be a positive effect. Could be taking it away though. Dardoch does like to get very aggressive. Smithy, by the way, does have a talisman on the Sejuani, so you have more options in your gank routes. You can use the life drain on it to actually do the Raptors early, whereas if you have a machete, you can still do them. It's just a lot more risky and takes a lot more life. Raptors, by the way, so incredibly important, especially in pro play. Most gold and experience in one of the small camps. Dardoch did pick his up as well.
It will be interesting to see what kind of the path Dardoch is taking, because we've been seeing more and more just kind of heavy farm paths, 6 camp clears, and these sorts of things from Skarners, as that is really one of the biggest advantages Skarner has in tank junglers, is that you're never going to run out of mana. A lot of your damage is AoE. You can constantly clear through this, and nice hawk shot.
Real nice spot Dardoch there as he will move down to take this Scuttle Crab. See some quick stain stats there. Swain's stats, sorry, has looked pretty good in the spring.
He also, I believe, had extremely good European LCS stats as of like yesterday or 2 days ago. Hadn't lost in like 10 or plus wins as well. Definitely a good champion at the moment. Dardoch is going for that invade, takes the Spire, got there in time to interrupt those Raptors and able to take away most of the camp.
I mean, this is really nice. That's partially in part because of how fast you're clearing, but it's also Rise being able to have so much more of a push. Swain's wave clear is actually really poor early on.
And again, Echo Fox, they're working off 2 pushing solo laners. Huni had pushed in Impact early on. Now he's been able to equalize, get back out into the middle of the lane. But it has been that story for them. Echo Fox, the solo laners trying to move up aggressively, help Dardoch with any sort of jungle path or invade that he wanted to do. And he got a little bit done. There's some deep vision as well. The question mark has always been the bottom lane. And now that Altec is on Caitlyn, you know, definitely a lot safer for him, is staying back here with Adrian, even though Double Lift has taken the Ashe kind of counter there into him.
It's kind of interesting. It almost even speaks to the mindset to see Caitlyn starting Doran Shield. I feel like that's so atypical to have that kind of defensive mindset on this champion who has such long range, who has, you know, pretty powerful early stage, and Dardoch wrapping around behind.
No Predator though, so can't pop those boots. As a hook lands onto Adrian, just a bit of poke back and forth. It looks like TL kind of got the lane where they want it, starting to shove up and apply pressure there.
Maybe a little visit from Impact here as well. Goes down to Scryer's Bloom. He also warded the Krugs, as you can see on your mini-map. Meanwhile, mid lane, Phoenix gets a nice warm welcome back to lane.
Yeah, nice little chunk, especially when you just TP straight back in to take that damage. It is always pretty advantageous if you can take that second base and then come back to them being a little bit lower on health, as Povelter still is going to have his TP available.
Dardoch on the left side though, going to take that Spire and look for an invade. Again, the pressure from Phoenix and Huni has been good here, so Dardoch going to play to that top side and try and get aggro. Now onto Xmithie. Could be okay in this duel and is going to retake his Spire as Phoenix roams into the left side. They see the Wolf camp and it's time to start that up.
Yep, Phoenix there on Rise. Similar to Cassiopeia, he's got extra speed he can use to dodge the Swain spells. Also, got the wave clear advantage. Now they're going to go for the fight though. Pobelter's on the way as well.
Stun already lands, Vision of Empire barely missed attack. Phoenix Impact actually here first. The root lands in, but Dardoch going to have to book it. Phoenix maybe a little too low, but I think he wants to threaten a touch more. Rupture is going to be just short by Huni. And Impact going to get away.
Yeah, that's actually pretty rough for Impact here too, because the wave was at his turret. So not only are you losing that CS, but the wave is then going to push away from you. As nice hook from Olay.
TP in as well from Fox instantly as someone's going to try and make a play. It's Adrian comes back down with the spellbook, and now the stun is going to land in. No ignite after the spellbook trade, but that might be enough. Olay a couple hits away as Double Lift burns the heal to protect his support.
Whew. And that is actually going to be a little bit scary now for Olay on the Thresh. He does have Hex Flash, so you can still try to make plays, but you would definitely need to coordinate with your teams because you are much more vulnerable. And teams will focus the Thresh in lane because he does have the Dark Passage as well for Double Lift.
Yeah, definitely the case. Altec without either summoner though, as Xmithie starts to level up here, if he can get 6 before that flash comes back, that is definitely somewhere you could look to attack. And Pobelter is already 6 here too, so certainly a potential to see those roams down to the bottom side.
Yeah, Skarner usually gets the level 6 before Sejuani though because of the clear speed, and especially since Dardoch has been invading. It might actually be the other foot here, as Predator also available for him, where Dardoch has the opportunity to make a big first play.
Well, looks like things are just going to reset. Both ADs have back BF swords first for both Double Lift and Altec, so that's looking just fine there. Again, some early components, mana items in the mid lane. Looks like Pobelter will be probably doing the standard big. We've seen this a lot from Swain, Rod of Ages, usually into Zonia's, and then Leandry's to kind of cap it off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Abyssal in this case, though. When both, Cho'Gath or Rise, there's quite a bit of magic damage there from the solo lanes, but I do think that the Rod of Ages is also a really strong choice. It just kind of depends what you feel you're at more risk of getting burst down, or if you prefer to have that.
Catalyst item always good as an early Drake from Echo Fox. Skarner's one of his other big advantages is taking those usually solo, but this time has the help of his team to make it a little bit faster.
Yeah, and this is just going to put some more pressure onto Team Liquid. Early regeneration, so incredibly effective for laning phase, because if you don't trade with the enemy champion, then you're able to get that and continue pushing in. You can see Huni, they just get the minions into the wave, then they back off. Meanwhile, the Predator Flash Skarner ultimate is available, and Xmithie's still 5.
Huni actually another invade. Oh, he feasted on the Scuttle Crab.
Xmithie actually could have smited that, but decided he wanted to hold on, perhaps worried about a blue contest or something like that. But Huni gets the little nom there.
Good stuff there for him as Pobelter going to roam over and try and get his blue. Swain doesn't need to walk all the way over, but going to help Xmithie to make it a bit faster. There's lightnings it down and is able to take it. Dardoch still looking, finds a control ward here left of mid. They're definitely looking for a pretty impactful first gank here for Dardoch.
Yeah, I was thinking about bottom lane, because we just had that interaction. There's no, flash on Ole, and they've been pushing up, but looks like kind of true to what they've done before. Dardoch continues to stay with the solo laner side of the map here. He's been pushing in. Both the solo laners are giving him advantage to go counter jungle, and he's going to take the camps away and a little bit smaller advantages rather than risk, a lot for a first blood play around bottom, especially as Dale was saying, since Altic doesn't have summoners, it might get a little dicey.
Ooh,
there's an arrow.
Arrow mid looking, Phoenix flashes. That wasn't going to hit him, but he was scared.
I think he just had no idea what was coming. Saw it on his screen and panic flash.
He thought it was one of those new homing rockets that they released.
Playing a little bit too much Fortnite.
Right there.
Well, Phoenix are still back in the trade, going to get some damage down here onto Pobelta. Good trade there from Phoenix as he whips out the spells, but Pobelta is going to be A-okay.
Smithy has hit 6 now, so he is still down in the experience, but Flash is still down in the Altec, so this is that window I was talking about. If you want to look down to the bottom lane, it is tougher to pull off without the Ashe ultimate available here too, but certainly still an opportunity to look for a play.
Well, things continue here. Looks like this farm has been kept quite even. So I think in this case, Dardoch not coming towards bot hasn't been punished. Again, this is kind of what I expected from Fox when I saw this roster. Even in the preseason is just, you have such a strong top side. If your bot lane can play safe and consistent, then most of the game should go pretty straightforwardly.
And, Dardoch's lead speaks for itself there over Smithy. Continues to accrue the farm advantage. They've been able to also keep tabs on him as well. So definitely taking away a few of those options.
Ooh, good little knock up there from Impact, but trading onto Huni, Cho'Gath tends to shrug that off once the passive procs enough times. Phoenix going to grab the blue buff. He rotates over for that one, and a much quieter first 10 minutes than the last game.
And that's kind of what we expected, right? Considering the adjustments that Echo Fox talked about, as well as not wanting to pigeonhole themselves into that one style and the little bit of extra risk there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're on more scaling champions. This is not Kalista and Olaf. It's Skarner and Caitlyn. You can afford to play it a bit more slowly and kind of wait for those opportunities. And as long as you're on the Echo Fox side and you see Dardoch is continually finding advantages, it's pretty good.
Phoenix maybe going to get caught, but Dardoch flashes over first. They're going to try and take the Pobelta. Suppression's going to land, but on also rotating down for Impact now. Pobelta going to pop the ulti and lock Dardoch in a good chain of CC. Huni is here. The stun is going to land in first blood. Over to Impact as Phoenix. They're going to try and finish him off with the realm ward, but Huni about to get going. The Nova pops. Another kill. Ole finds the play, finds the hook. Going to take him down. Liquid collapse for 3 clean kills.
And that was so much commitment on the Pobelter, who had his ultimate available. Dardoch pops everything on him with no damage coming through. If you do not insta-kill that Swain post 6, that is such a dangerous target, and they get punished huge.
In addition, Double F shot the arrow from bottom lane, ends up coming. Olay roam through to mid lane. All of Team Liquid show up. They get 3 kills, not just the first blood. And this is a huge lead right out of this little skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, and look at Dardoch going heavily onto Pobelter, but where's the follow-up damage? There's no way, because the ultimate is over on Phoenix, and then the Ashe ultimate comes through. Pobelter gets the flat HP and all the life drain from his ultimate, and he's able to survive a long time here. Phoenix re-engaging with the Swain active on the ultimate about to pop is really dangerous.
Yeah, and even though both members of the Echo Fox duo roamed up, they still lose out in kills, and Double F was left bottom pushing. So even another advantage for Team Liquid.
Yeah, really well-coordinated play from Team Liquid with just so much of what we've seen kind of in the back half of their split. So 3-0 up now, 1,000 gold over Echo Fox.
And it's starting to feel a little bit like last game where, Huni's getting the CS advantage. They're kind of eking out some edges, but then Impact's able to join a team fight that goes successfully, and that's kind of gone. And Pobelter is looking really strong now. You can see Double F likely building towards an Essence Reaver. You're going to feel pretty comfortable to go a bit more supportive when your Swain is off to this really good start.
Certainly looking good. His Rod of Ages is going to be charging up. Phoenix does have the Abyssal Mask, so kind of, again, respecting all that powerful magic damage. Still no major objectives really being threatened or taken, I guess, apart from that first Ocean that did go over to Fox. So a lot of this game left to play, and again, it has been quieter as Ole. Just hanging out with some Hex Flash. Made a pretty sick play with it last game on Alistar, so clearly enjoying that rune.
I definitely enjoyed it as well. Definitely one of the more fun and creative ones. 6 mid lane though, an arrow attempt.
Yeah, I mean, might not matter. Pobelta going to move him back around. Has the ulti moving already. Swain just so strong in any sort of elongated engagement, but
Dardoch,
Dardoch
though.
gonna try and be the difference. Smithy also here. Suppression's gonna start. The Zoni's already burnt by
Oh,
Phoenix.
no.
I think there might have been a mistake, but the fight's still going. Bromod is good, and Huni comes down as well. He's gonna look for a face. Rupture lands, looks to face down. Smithy does get the killer's impact now. Caught in the front lines. Echo Fox, they're gonna find the trades. They're gonna find the kills. Altec gets the next kill. Echo Fox come up clutch.
And Echo Fox strike back. As they said on the LSS, even when they're behind, they keep creating plays. And this time, they're able to get the collapse in time for the objective. Cloud Drake going to be stacked on top of the ocean. And just like back, they flip it around.
Yeah, and as Pobelter ran out of that ultimate, he didn't have a lot more damage left. This time, Doublelift did not roam up. He was not really involved, and they just didn't have the damage to finish off those kills, so they're going to get the kills mid, and they're going to get the dragon.
Well, he doesn't get tagged, but I don't think he can steal this. Yeah, he's going to try, but Smite from Dardoch will secure the objective. So after that play, the gold lead equalizes back as Echo Fox find their footing.
Definitely a nice play from Echo Fox, and here it is one more time, looking towards mid lane, the Ash Arrow coming up. They were trying to coordinate on that, but they have the confidence to go for this play anyway because they know support and jungle is roaming up. What they perhaps did not account fully for was Huni's TP coming in. The amount of damage that Cho'Gath is able to actually offer when he gets here was pretty big as he gets pulled in, but he has the feast available, and that true damage just pushing down his mid.
Yeah, that makes all the difference there. It was a basically mirrored situation. Impact 1v3 on the top half right there. You can see on the Ornn, but unable to get any sort of meaningful play done. Whereas Huni, the feast definitely meaningful and able to execute the tank there for the extra kill, which they leveraged into an objective. Still though, on the board is the first turret bonus, and that has multiple repercussions. Not only is it the bonus gold, but once you get that turret down, you also get to rotate your duo lane around and kind of free up the next creation of a play. If you go down the list right now, the teleports aren't available, so it's more on the roaming of the actual champions.
Yeah, it definitely will be, and I'll be interested to see if either team is actually going to prioritize the Rift Herald to try to get that turret down, because that is still available, but things have been looking pretty even on the bottom side of the map, and Doublelift now has some CDR. He can look more frequently towards these Ash Arrows as Ole may be getting one out.
Last one play here from Adrian. He's going to land the stun. The arrow hits on the outer, but Phoenix still grabs the kill first. Pobelter again going to charge up the ulti and try and get a kill down. Phoenix caught in the mix is going to die to Doublelift, so a 1-for-1 trade as Fox maybe a touch too aggressive.
But definitely a good trade there for TL, trading the support for that solo laner. They can shove up mid, and it's Dardoch that is going up to this Rift Herald. So overall, pretty good trade as long as he can get something from it this game.
There are definitely 3 members of Team Liquid moving, but the Rift Herald's so low.
Dardoch, he's going to get it, but I don't think he can grab it. Huni going to try and defend as Dardoch maybe force the flash wall. He does get up, but now Huni, he's trapped out. He's got his flash, but he's getting CC'd up forever. TL has so much pick potential as Huni is just trying to get away. To Impact flashes the Rupture. They're still going. They can't take down the Cho'Gath. He's a massive man.
Phoenix
Here
is
comes
keeping in.
Phoenix, but Pobelter finally gets the kill onto Huni. Phoenix TP's in perhaps to his death. Not sure that one comes recommended. Phoenix gonna try and get out. His buddy's fucked, but he gets CC'd forever. And Pobelter grabs yet another kill.
Oh, Huni picks up the Rift Herald, but he loses his flash, his life, and Phoenix loses his teleport and his life. So Team Liquid now with the extra momentum. And now we're back to bottom lane where Doublelift has been able to stay nice and calm.
Yeah.
Not a participant in all the shenanigans that have gone on up there. Still able to push in, and we have up in the air, this first turret bonus. It was looking like top lane was going to be the site of that, but again, another one of these big plays around here does change the story.
Yeah, the collapse comes in very quickly here for TL. They know that they have a 3-2-2 advantage because Phoenix was just killed off, and Huni got almost no distance with that flash there. It looked like he kind of had it misplaced a bit into the wall, and as he's getting burst down, Phoenix wants to try to rescue this play, wants to try to turn it around and make something happen, but I don't know if you can complete that with Huni already dead.
Yeah, the Swain here able to sustain in these fights, and the 2 tanks on the front line get a lot of mileage out of this Sejuani passive. Impact and Smithy stacking that permafrost, get multiple stuns off. They're very hard to peel, and in the end, they do go down. There's the Rift Herald, though. Huni does finish off that first turret bonus, so Echo Fox get a little something.
Phoenix under fire, juking away, gets an Evermove, but now pulled back in up to the permafrost. Dardoch is here, but what does he really do? A great ult from McSmithy as they keep trying to chase down the arrow. Not going to hit there for Doublelift, and looks like the play will end. Fox survived this time.
And they get the first turret on the top side, as Kobe said, so nicely done cashing in on that Rift Herald, getting something back from that play, which did look pretty bad overall. And so far, this game is very, very even. You know, Gold extremely close after that first turret goes down, but you always have to be worried about this Swain getting super strong.
Mooney backs Pobe, there's the silence again, they're going to follow in Swain. No, ulti does have his flash. Pobelta knows he flashes away, does not want to get feasted on.
Yeah, the cooldown about to come up there for Huni, and he is ready to use it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Doublelift by himself, so Altek and Adrian should be able to finish off this turret, and Echo Fox start to snowball those objectives.
Yeah, nicely done, actually, taking off a couple turrets, and this is going to unlock Caitlyn to move around the map and potentially, you know, knock down that final outer. Because Swain does not have very strong wave clear, so he is going to really struggle as you see these people pressuring the turret there. Doublelift going to get surrounded.
Oh, Dardok's suppressed. He's got no QSS. He can't take the Lantern. A celebration ulti for Adrian, and they take down Doublelift. Death number 1.
Yeah, death number 1. Doublelift finally falls down in playoffs, but more importantly, Echo Fox takes another turret, and TL seems pretty out of sorts, honestly, in these last couple minutes.
Impact is trying to do some work here on the top side, but Huni has come to answer and peels him off the turret pretty effortlessly. Now that all the outer turrets have just gone down in succession for Echo Fox here, they have a lot of room to work with. They're recalling right now to replenish their wards. Then they'll try and set up a little bit of vision to create that play. There is a Mountain Drake coming onto the field very quickly.
They spent their money as well. Altec was holding 2,600 after that play, so he goes back and just buys up a static Shiv.
Oh.
So this should be a pretty strong point in the game for Echo Fox. The gold was teetering back and forth, 1,000 between the two, but Fox, they take about a 1,500 gold lead and look to force a fight around this next objective.
And importantly for them, Altec is really strong. He's on this scaling champion. He's going to have a big opportunity to be a part of these team fights and to really be looking good. And Huni is going to be scaling pretty heavily here too. Cho'Gath can be a monster in these later game team fights, especially when you're looking at frontline versus frontline. We know how impactful a true damage can be.
Well, let's take a look at the setup then. Caitlyn traps can be laid here on the... Oh, hey, Smithy!
Early ult, following in for the Ash ultimate. Pobelta now in the back, trying to find the big flank. Altec trapped by the hooks. He is going to go down, I think. Yes, the Nova explodes as Pobelta grabs that kill. Phoenix flashes the on ulti as TL find their pick on a carry.
And the oodles of crowd control are effective for Team Liquid there. They throw all the buttons out, destroy Altec, and they're the ones to pick up the dragon.
Yeah, they'll get this dragon, and that's just going to increase the threat of any potential Baron. They're going to go look for that later. It is post 20 minutes, and another nice fight there. It's so difficult to avoid all the CC, as you pointed out.
I mean, you got an Ornn ultimate that's going to clear half the screen. Then you have the single targets.
They caught Phoenix.
2v2, Phoenix going to try and fight his way out. Dardok here first with the TP in from Impact. Ulti hits on. Just defensive play there as they try and get Pobelta off. Impact does complete that TP. TL, I think, extending for a siege.
I like the attempt here from Echo Fox to take advantage of the cooldowns of all of those hard CC abilities we were going to list off there, and the stuns not available, but Team Liquid are stacked as 5, and they're ready for this. Going to focus down mid.
Yeah, and Phoenix getting pretty far up here. He's got to be a bit careful.
Oh, the hook from Olay, the knockup follows, the pullback goes, and there's yet another kill!
Huni has arrived and he's on the flank, but Team Liquid...
Oh, the hook?
Dardok might be baiting him in. The Rupture finds 2, but still the front line is starting to shred. The suppression is good. Altec takes down Smithy. No impact, a little low. Huni looking for a feast target. He's got it ready to go. Pobelta is going to get ruptured and shut down by Huni.
Huni comes to save the day here. Flanks on the Cho'Gath. They get the secondary engage and pick up 2 off of the back of it. Altec has to flash, though.
What is happening in this game?
It's starting to be a pretty scrappy here. A lot of these fights as there's not a lot of tank killing damage, honestly, here on Team Liquid's squad to try to go for Huni, and they're going to try to transition this into a Baron. Phoenix has respawned. He's TPing back. This would be a 5v4 and low health bars for TL, so it's looking like it's just the Echo Fox Baron.
Aggressive force here, but maybe a worthwhile one. Dardok no smite for 20 seconds. It's not going to matter, though. Echo Fox will take the first Baron of game 2.
This is going to be huge for Echo Fox to see how much territory they can gain with the Baron empowered siege. Here's another look at that tower, though.
Yeah, here it is again. The tower gets knocked down. Phoenix walking too far forward, gets caught by a hook, but as Mooney is coming in from the side, you have to think, where's the damage going to come from to actually knock him down? They kind of almost bait themselves back into the re-engage as Mooney is flanking.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where Olay hitting that hook onto a target causes all of Team Liquid to group up and go for the target, allowing a big rupture there from Huni to knock up that front line and give Echo Fox their opening to get right back in here, which they take very quickly and then punish with a Baron.
And they have, quite a big gold advantage off of that, and are going to be able to look to extend it pretty heavily. With the Caitlyn on that Baron power play, there's always a big opportunity to pick up a lot more gold.
2,500 gold is good. 5-6K is a lot better as they move through the mid-game. If they had the Mountain Drake, it would have been a touch easier, but instead they'll see what they can get done. Liquid, though, still on offense, trying to make something happen here as they counter-push these waves, but Fox, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. This is the time to open up the map for yourself.
Team Liquid looking for, the Fog of War play here as well. Talked about how many stuns they can layer. If they pick a member of Echo Fox off while they're splitting like this, they could be able to kind of break this Baron siege. But right now, effective 1-3-1 from Echo Fox. They push up both side waves, and they're almost ready to converge here, it looks like, as both solo laners heading into the jungle.
Yeah, Rise definitely looking to at least be in range for that Realm Warp ultimate, but seems like the call is to keep pushing.
Arrow finds Adrian, he does cleanse, but he's got to wait it out. He uses the ulti, hops back away with Provelta. He's going to flash in onto the carries. Adrian might be okay, but Dardoch, he also flashes out of the Nova.
And importantly, Echo Fox stayed with the 1-3-1, so they evaded in the mid lane, and they get 2 towers with both solo laners finding victories.
Such a big win for Echo Fox. They're surviving in that 3v5. They're going to get out, and that is even more gold in their pockets, and a lot of the important cooldowns are now down for TL, so Echo Fox can continue to push.
Important disengage there. Adrian on the Braum able to soak up a lot of the damage as well as crowd control, but then they still were able to get out despite Pobelter flashing forward for Altec.
Oh. Wow!
Huni
solo kills the mid lane, and the pressure continues. Echo Fox, a big windfall there as Huni styles down in the bot lane.
Huni says, what? You used your flash mid lane? Chomp, 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 and Pobelter's in the fountain. There goes an inhibitor turret as well.
Yeah, they're pushing mid lane. They're pushing all 3 inhibitors. It feels like TL can just not keep up with this pressure.
Hey, nice macro. Ours might be a bit better. Echo Fox just showing how much strength they have on this map. Mid lane broken. In a second. Need to wait for the mending wave. But
Bottom
the last
lane.
few shots, then bot lane crumbles. Maybe along with it. Yeah, Huni already taken that down. This could be likely 1 inhib, maybe even 2. Fox gets so much out of this Baron power play.
Echo Fox showing they don't have to play early snowball. They can play the early game oriented compositions, but this one working out as well for them. Continuing on the siege with this Baron buff too. They do not want to leave without the inhibitor.
Huni's like, all right, I'll take it. It might cost me my life, but I will do everything I can to take it down. They will grab it. Phoenix still topside as well. Huni will just forfeit his life. Pobelta gets a revenge kill, but another turret falls in topside. Phoenix going to try and get out of there. Good flash.
Yeah, good flash to get out, and yes, they kill Huni, but that was a 5v1. Everyone focusing Huni, and look how long it still takes to knock him down without him even expending his stone plate usage there. So here is the play again. Huni
Surprise!
hits him with the rupture, and as you called out, Kobe, no flash was available here for Pobelter, so he's just going all the way.
Yep, and that looked very easy, simplistic for Huni there. He just walks right up.
Not a good
land.
time.
That's what happens when you land your ability.
Okay. Just gotta hit them skill shots.
From Huni on tanks to Huni on tanks. Cho'Gath coming up big with the play as Mountain Drake spawning in 15 seconds, but 7,300 gold for Echo Fox off that Baron power play.
And I'm still just pretty concerned for TL as far as where is the damage to kill this front line. Last game they had a Trundle and a Caitlyn. They had more kind of oomph in their frontline killing. Swain does not excel at killing tanks. There's no Void Staff, there's no Leandries, there's no Last Whisper, there's no IE on Doublelift, so his auto attack damage is not ramping up. Like, they would have to delay this game a long time.
And they don't have a lot of time to work with because there's 2 inhibitors down and Echo Fox are already at the 3rd with members of Team Liquid still recalling.
Yeah, Fox said, you can have the Mountain Drake. We want your last inhib. Huni even burned his TP to get it all going. The final fight might have started here for Team Liquid, but a great glacial feature. He's going to start it all off. Redemption to kind of reset the fight. But again, Fox just need to kite out safely. Huni, so tanky, beasts on to the backline to try and pick off Ole, but Ono might kick off the rest of the fight. A 3-man knock-up. Pobelta finds a follow-up route. Impact the knock-up there in onto Phoenix. Everyone's trying to get away, but 2 kills. TL barely hold on.
They didn't have much time, so they immediately forced the fight, and Team Liquid rushed to the defense of the inhibitor, able to get the victory in the fight as well as keeping their structure standing. if only by a few health.
Yeah, really close to getting triple inhib there, but honestly, TL, such a good job by their front line, buying time to focus down Huni, who's taking forever to kill, but they push back the carries, they lock him down with the crowd control, and they slowly get that kill.
Now they're even trying to contest this dragon, though.
Olay actually just got crit by Altek, dodges the hook, gets the kill. Now suppression's gonna land, combining with a Braum stun. TL a little bit too far forward, impact flashes, but I think it's just to his death. One last auto seals the double for Altek.
Team Liquid trying to do a little bit too much at once there. They're defending 2 inhibitors worth of minions there, double stack supers, while also trying to contest the dragon. Echo Fox say, we're having none of that. Picking up 2 kills and back to the offense.
And Echo Fox could potentially just march down and look to end the game here. It's going to be a 5v3 for a little bit more. Olay has 10 seconds on his timer, but Impact is dead for 25. We'll see where they want to go next, if they just try to take 3 inhibs and back off, or if they look for the throw.
Well, here comes Phoenix as well. Right down the mid lane, Huni in tow, all 5 members of Echo Fox ready.
Inhib dead, Dada got hooked, but it's not gonna matter as Fox are just gonna walk out of the base and maybe walk back to that Baron up in 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, and this is the much safer option. Retreat back to the Baron, allow your lane to do that pressure, but Impact is TPing in. He wants to try to find a flank with the Ornn ulti.
Realm Warp gets a couple out, but still 3 trapped. The Rupture lands the ult onto Huni. He takes it in the front line, and now the fight is gonna start. Glacial Fissure combos it down. Huni takes down Olay.
And Team Liquid extend a little bit too far once again there. Everybody spread out and they didn't have the numbers. Focusing into that little checkpoint right there. Huni's going to be able to beast another one as well as the Baron for the team.
Yeah, and Impact had to cancel that TP. It was too far away. The Super Minions were pushing in. It's going to be beast stack number 10 already on Huni. Looking very, very strong. That's a Baron, that's triple inhib, and Echo Fox are looking to tie this one up.
Desperation turns to disaster for Team Liquid as Fox will just try and put the final touches on game number 2. There's a Mountain Drake if they want to grab it en route to the rest of the base, but 3 inhibs will be down. They'll have Baron buff for the full 3 minutes. Fox will look to deliver the final blow in this game.
Such an exciting one, this one too, because there were a lot of moments for Team Liquid early on in the game as well, but this one, game number 2, goes to show why a lot of the analysts were predicting a closer series and were a little bit undecided as far as the outcome, because Echo Fox striking back very quickly here to even it up.
Yeah, they definitely are, and also bodes very well for the rest of the series if Altec can compete with Doublelift, if this bottom lane can hold up, which they have more than done in this second game.
Well, Mountain Drake appears to be pretty irrelevant for these teams as Fox are just going to try and end it with this Baron buff. That right-hand Nexus turret is extremely low. The mid inhib has been retaken, and it's not really much left here for TL to try and defend. Ult lands, hits Huni again, needs to pop the stone plate, does do so, Pabelta gets shredded, pops his own, he's a 4-man, Ornn might be enough, Doublelift does kill Huni, but Fox, actually they do have to scatter, Doublelift grabs the double kill, Altek still free firing on the other side, a triple kill for Doublelift, a quadra kill for Doublelift.
Oh, Altek's not going to give it to him, doesn't want to take a crit fight there, and Team Liquid defend the remnants of their base. Barely anything left standing here, but they're still fighting.
And the last inhibitor is actually going to stay up, so they're not getting triple inhib. That means only 2 super minions per wave instead of 6. So big deal to get that. It's a lot of gold in the pockets of Doublelift. Here it is again. Beautiful start to the fight from TL. The Ornn ulti was huge. They go straight on to Huni. Look at all the crowd control. The feet early on Pobelter barely survives. Then that bowling ball comes through, and it's a strike.
5 members knocked up right there, and Team Liquid destroy them very quickly. Importantly there, it was a very quick quadra kill for Doublelift because there were minions on all sides attacking from all angles there, and the Nexus turret athlete left standing with like 1 hit left on it. It will regenerate very, very slowly. But Team Liquid's still breathing.
Hey, we said they needed time, and that's going to buy you a little bit of time. The Void Staff has done a full Lord Dominic spot there for Doublelift off of that fight. That is going to allow him to punch through that front line so much more quickly. And I mean, there's some signs of life. Yes, it's still heavily Echo Fox favored, but if TL can continue to slow this down, if they can continue to hold on around this area, they might have a chance.
If only they'd had the Mountain Drake. They did get it as Altec soloed it out. He's still holding Baron buff for 30 seconds, but Team Liquid are being sneaky, and Echo Fox, they don't want to budge. They're letting Huni shove down the side lane. Super's still going again, top and mid.
Definitely don't want to face check that Bush.
Bush chicken going on here, and Echo Fox are not moving. Team Liquid clearing out some minions. They found the control ward.
No vision there as Echo Fox just find the right time to leave. Again, looking to pressure this inhib. Altec can throw shots in pretty freely.
All right, not a lot of time here. Once again, the minions are swarming through. You can see pings on both the top and mid lane there. Team Liquid feeling a bit antsy.
And you can see Impact try to get around to the side to actually set up a good angle on this Ornal, but Echo Fox not willing to fully commit to it. They had the trap line down, but it will get cleared out.
And I think that's advisable. Echo Fox slowing it down a little bit, calming down, trying to use that minion pressure to their advantage. They have a long-range Caitlyn here, taking a couple shots and laying the traps down.
No need to rush, and then finally the Supers descend onto that final unhealthy-looking Nexus turret. They move in for the inhib. TL no, they have to clear out the minions, but Fox, they will take 3 inhibs once again to the top. Is now just respawning.
Oh, the ult on Huni.
Huni again gonna get pulled back in. He's always the target. Needs to try and get something done. Pobelter again. Zoni's up to the feast. Altec needs to dodge the ulti. Good block from Adrian. Frontline kill though. Pobelter, he's gonna go down, but it's a mess. It's double it. He's left unprotected. He's just ripping out so much damage. Altec finally grabs the kill. Still the play. Back in finds 2, but Altec, he's just got so much damage. And Echo Fox, they will brawl through the final few team fights, but that will be the game.
And just like that, Altec takes down Doublelift and kills TL's hopes in this game number 2. They're gonna tie this one up.
TP back in, Nexus exposed, Impact trying to buy time. Dardock says, I don't think so. Echo Fox will put the finishing touches on this Nexus, and we have a series.
Altec wants another kill!
All right, there's the ace, and there's the game. Echo Fox gonna tie it up.
Woo. What a series so far. Two teams very evenly matched, and Echo Fox bot lane looking so much stronger in game number 2, going back to something that's more of a traditional meta AD carry. Altec looking much, much more comfortable on it, and honestly, they performed very well.
Skirmishes in the early game around mid lane, going both ways. Both teams trying to take advantage of the cooldown windows left by the last skirmish. So we see like 3 or 4 of them chaining in a row there. Makes for a very exciting game too.
Well, to get their thoughts on how Echo Fox tied the series, let's send it over to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much. Pastry time. Echo Fox striking back here in game 2. It was a tough one, and a nail-biter at that, but they get it, and they evened it up at 1-on-1, this time from Red side. I want to talk about the adjustments that they made in Champions Select. First time Skarner played for Dardock here in the North American LCS.
Yeah, we were talking about it for a while. We had a long discussion about it on the dive. Would he play Skarner? Because he's been on stream saying how he hates the champion, but it should fit his style so well. And they already seem to be inflexible enough with their AD carry bans, having the exact same bans in games 1 and 2.
Right.
You have to be able to play it. And I think in draft phase, Team Liquid almost bet that he wouldn't by leaving it up for second pick right there, but he actually did very well on the pick.
Yeah, they went for the Olaf ban instead, but then you're getting this mismatched jungle thing where you could probably let Smithy play other side, so who knows what they do in the future. But for this game, Dardock did great. He was invading all the time, massive CS lead over Smithy, which translated to gold and XP differential, and was kind of the catalyst for the early game because, once again, Echo Fox's early game was looking pretty good.
Yeah, very much the way you'd want to see Skarner played, getting those advantages in the skirmishes early on and doing all that counter jungling. With that, though, what was forfeited over to Team Liquid were the likes of the Swain, as an example, as well as, of course, Doublelift moving to the Ashe of all things.
Yeah, the Ashe is an interesting pick for Doublelift. He did kind of just throw arrows mid over and over, and that's where a lot of the skirmishing happened this game. Not as much in the top, not as much in the bottom, and it was very, very back and forth. Team Liquid would win one, Echo Fox would win one, and a lot of it came down to what felt like execution, late ultimates, missed skill shots, things like that.
Very bloody game as far as how much they were fighting.
Oh yeah, we
The
could check in on
CC
that
chains for
over-under
Team
a
Liquid
bit.
felt like they were going to be winning a lot of these, and I think Phoenix was getting caught out a fair bit. But in these later fights, I think Huni was really clutching it out, landing a large percentage of his ruptures. And when you're playing the kind of front-to-back damage dealer fights, which I didn't think they'd be able to win. They were doing so, I think, because of Huni's tank play.
One of the problems for TL also was picking fights without ultimates. When they have their ultimates available, watch how disgusting their CC chain is. Literally all 5 champions can engage fights for TL, and they can do disgusting CC chains then. The Ornn ultimate at the very end, as they're trying to run away, the fact he held on that long was great, but there are a number of fights that TL were forcing in the mid game that put them behind, that now they're in this base fighting situation where they are constantly chain CCing a frontliner to stay alive in the game.
Well, talk to me about that a bit, Mark, because again, these late game team fights, they demonstrate or illustrate to me that Team Liquid would have won this game from a more even map standpoint, right? If they hadn't given up all this pressure with the in-hits.
Yeah, I mean, they were behind the whole game in terms of like tempo, and were trying to hold on the best they could. And sometimes that meant forcing fights, but they would like win a fight and then just go a little bit too far and keep refighting. And that was one of the problems that kind of hurt them. You see how up and down it was around that 15 to 20 minute mark, but then after a little bit, you can start playing more careful.
Yeah, and I do think Altec stepped up in a big way this game. He had a stronger front line in front of him, but the fact that he was able to out-damage Doublelift in those fights, regardless of all the other factors when his damage had been tripled in the previous game, shows that they can bounce back.
Now, that said, even in the victory here for Echo Fox, I do want to touch on Phoenix as a player and his performance so far in this series. Even in this game alone, we saw a number of, honestly, unforced errors here.
It's going to miss.
No reason you need
It's
to
not
flash
even close.
that.
That arrow was closer to Huni. Then in this one, he's going to Zanya's a Sejuani ult that has already hit his frontliner, so he just cuts DPS, which makes this fight closer than it needs to be, even though they still win it. And again, here, Huni's already dead.
Completing the TP when he shouldn't.
Completing the TP, he had time to cancel, chose not to, goes down to make this a 2-for-0 instead of a 1-for-0. And these are the kind of problems that made it so TL was actually in this game. We talked about how there was a gold lead for Echo Fox through Dardoch, through Huni, even through their bot lane, and the only thing that wasn't working for them were these mid skirmishes.
Yeah, I think if they had lost this game, if they had not come back, I think we'd be seeing Demonte because that's their designated sub-4 playoffs where you have to have a 6-man roster. Because they won, I'm less sure of it, but he had pretty jumpy play, Phoenix did, in that game. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Demonte come in. He had pretty good experience in Week 9, so that's going to be an option Echo Fox has if they get pushed to an elimination game.
Again, we have no word on that just yet. Spitballing the idea of if there's an underperforming member on Echo Fox right now, it would be Phoenix, and Demonte is sitting on your sub roster, ready and available for play. We'll see if they decide to jump at that. Now, with the series tied at 1-1, you know, again, looking at Echo Fox taking early game leads, but Team Liquid seeming, even in this loss, still seeming to be slightly crisper in those 5v5s. Where are you looking for teams to go in game 3 here?
It's weird because Huni has had a ton of top lane pressure. And Echo Fox has been able to break outer 3 turrets both games, which is really impressive. It means they have that tempo advantage. But I think Team Liquid has shown better macro. They just need to play more around team fighting, and I think I still favor them slightly in this series.
Okay.
I feel that way too. I mean, it's hard. Maybe it's just how I am as an ex-coach. I like seeing the better macro. I like seeing the better team fighting. I feel like in a playoff series, that's more important because you feel so hard to win every early game in a series, and they're going to drop one of these, and then Team Liquid will probably win. So that's where I'm getting that feeling from, but it is so close right now.
Just received word that Echo Fox is going back to blue side here with side selection and electing no subs. So it will be Phoenix still in. Interestingly enough, both red side teams have won. Not to say that that means much, but both teams choosing blue side when they have the opportunity. I'll be curious to see how that changes throughout the course of the series.
And I'm going to be curious to see if Echo Fox bans Jhin, Zaya, and Morgana.
Again!
It's just more.
The fact that they had to deal with Pobelter Swain, they eventually did in the end, but like, dude, just let Ole play more.
And they still let him have Thresh.
Yep.
Well, and plus the Caitlyn as well, now moving back onto red side for Team Liquid.
For
here.
Doublelift. Yeah, that's a possibility.
That's the thing I'm more concerned of here. The Swain, you can ban it on blue side easily, but what are you going to do now with that?
Well, we're tied up 1-1. We've got ourselves a series. Game 3 of Echo Fox versus Team Liquid is coming up after the break.
Eugene, this just reminds me of the end of the Rip My Pants song where he says, "Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants."
Huni about to get going. The Nova pump, another kill. Ole finds the play, finds the hook, gonna take him down. Liquid collapse for 3 clean kills.
Hey, here, lights to the place. Lights to the place. I'm okay. Yeah. Hey, lights.
Right.
Lights. Rise. Nice.
Double it, grabs a double kill. Altec still free firing on the other side. A triple kill for double lift. A quadra kill for double lift. Oh, double lift is left unprotected. He's just ripping out so much damage. Altec finally grabs the kill. Still the play. Back in finds two, but Altec, he's just got so much damage. And Echo Fox, they will brawl through the final few team fights.
Welcome back to Remember This? In Game 4 of the 2017 NALCS Summer Finals, we saw an amazing match between TSM and Immortals. Immortals pushed into TSM's base, hoping to take home the gold. However, Immortals' attack was merely water upon the rocks as TSM decimated them. And with only the Nexus in their eyes, TSM took home the championship.
They have never missed a final. They have never missed Worlds. And they are once again your North American champion.